Calling all Autobots!
32 Alpha, take course, Marker.
We on the set of Transformers 7. It's going down. Hang on tight. Strap in. It's about to be epic. It's about to be crazy. It's about to be epically crazy.
The transwarp key. After 7 long years stranded on Earth, we finally found a way home.
I was a huge fan of Transformers as a kid, so that's where it all started for me. Like my first introduction was the actual movie, the Transformers movie back in the 80s.
I think that for many people it's childhood attachment, but I think also there's this idea that your car has a personality and can talk to you. Is just a fascinating idea.
We make a great team.
It's a little campy in terms of the robots, but it's sort of self-aware, but it also takes itself very seriously at the same time.
The stories are so big, the action is so boundless. It's just an amazing area to get to play in.
We wanted to build something that was going to be epic in scope and kind of be a throwback quest movie that we all grew up with.
The transwarp key is our only way home.
If this dude gets a hold of that thing, it's game over for Earth.
A cool time period, a movie set in the 90s. We had the 80s with Bumblebee.
Is there anyone that can help you? Do you have a family?
Well, one of the interesting things about Bumblebee was,
Oh, who would me?
while people seem to have really loved the movie, a lot of the fan base was not entirely happy with the scale of it. It was very intimate, and it was consciously intimate. And there was one refrain that came out of a large group of them, which was, where's the explosions? Where's all the stuff?
So it was a lesson to learn that, and coming into this movie, while bigger is better in terms of spectacle, what is more important than that is that people care about those characters and their successes in those set pieces.
Add heart and spectacle and really make sure the two stuck together.
Listen, I can't have someone like you mess up what I built.
Someone like me.
Growing up in Brooklyn, and the people that live there are not often represented in movies like this. So we were looking for a new face. Face is. And Anthony was the first one we seized on.
He's a soldier.
He does not look like a soldier.
He's a New Yorker. He grew up in New York. He did not have a straight path or an easy path into acting. He was somebody who, like our Noah character, was struggling for a long time to figure out what was his purpose. And he's from Brooklyn, and he has this affection for that city. So he brings authenticity, his voice, his accent, his swagger, the way he carries himself is all authentically New York City.
And I was like, wow, this dude's a really physical actor. Like the way he uses his traits, he has a unique charm and a level of vulnerability that's really hard to find.
I said more than anything, I really want to bring heart to this film. I want people to not only care about the robots, but to care about the humans and to care about the relationship between the humans and the robots. These two species that should never be connected at all. Isn't that like a message for the world, right? Like there's a common ground between everyone, really. We all have something in common, no matter where we come from.
You know this thing?
Yeah, we're just work friends.
Work friends?
Originally, the film was for a Puerto Rican kid out in Queens, New York. And then when we cast it, it was only right, since Anthony Ramos was from Brooklyn, that we're like, we should make it Brooklyn. And then it just so happened that Dominique Fishback was also from Brooklyn. And we're like, well, this is like the perfect sort of mix now.
It's not some Egyptian god. It's something else.
Really, when I went into this and I was talking to Steven about this, I was like, we have to prove why we need the humans, why humans are important. It's all about humanity, and all about hearts and feelings. And so how do you get that emotion if Mirage can't cry or Ereza can't cry? You get it from the people.
And so I remember talking to Anthony one day and saying, hey, the actress I want, her name is Dominique Fishback. And he goes, me and Dominique go way back. We're really close friends. And I was like, wait, what?
Dominique was somebody that Steven had been eyeing for a while. Then you looked at her body of work, and everything you saw was quality. And so we thought it was an interesting combination. Then you had to do the kind of chemistry read, and they had great chemistry together, and they clearly respected each other. And we were lucky enough they both wanted to do it.
She grew up in East New York, then I grew up in Bushwick. It's cool. We added a line in the movie where she goes, I'm from East New York. I'm like, oh, I'm from Bushwick.
East New York all day.
I'm from Bushwick.
We got to throw in those 2 lines in the movie with us actually stating where we're from in real life and making our characters from those places.
Well, Steven, you know, he's never done a movie of this kind of scale, and one of the things that we were looking for was to really dial in a different version, just as we did a bit with Bumblebee, but this is even more.
I've done a drama, my first feature. I did a fighting film with Creed 2. And now stepping into Transformers, you're like, okay, there's a whole different set of muscles that I've never even worked before.
Steven's vision is basically an emotional drama set against the backdrop of an alien war.
You got a huge movie, takes place in different parts of the world, a lot of robots and machines and aliens. And so at this point, you just want to make sure there's that human connection where people are like, I could connect to Noah, I connect to Chris, I connect to Toby, I connect to Elena.
Oh, cool, you're still alive.
Steven, culturally, he's coming from a different spot. So to put this in the hands of somebody like Steven, who comes from that background and also is younger and has a fresh perspective, was a way for us to know that this would feel different from the other movies.
Every project that I basically say yes to and or create or get involved with has a piece of me in it. Like I first read the script and I go, there goes the story. Then I go, what do I have to say? And is there me on the table? And if not, how can I incorporate myself? And so I really pull from personal things around me that I'm either going through or transitioning in with life, some part of my childhood, and so it becomes very personal. And I think you need that, especially with big films like this, where the scope is so huge and long hours on set, trying to create this, you need that motivation throughout to say, okay, I am saying something, okay, there is a part of me on this tape, I think people are really gonna enjoy this. I wanna connect to my audience.
I'm going.
Native New Yorkers in the lower middle class,
But I'm not trusting my home to a guy who couldn't even protect his.
struggling against how to break through their world
I'm going.
and into the larger world. And of course, that's the perfect time to go on an adventure with the Transformers.
Yeah, I'm walking to Peru.